give you guys some idea around who I am and what I do, I think it would actually be important for everyone to understand what the Travel Corporation is. And it really is the world's largest travel company that you've never heard of. And that's what Forbes has referred to us as. And so when you look at our global CEO there, Brett Tolman, and this was a feature that was just last year in Forbes, most people don't realize that we do $2 billion a year in turnover, that we've got 2 million travelers, that we've got 30 brands. So you're not familiar with the Travel Corporation or TTC. And most of you would be familiar with some of these brands. You'll actually hear from Rita later this afternoon. She's our VP of Marketing for Kentucky USA, and she'll be talking about social media and customer loyalty, and I think you'll learn a lot from that session. But you're familiar with these brands that we have in the group. And one of the big developments for us in the time that I've been there was actually realizing that we're not really just a family of brands, that these brands are all interrelated by virtue of the fact that they offer experiences. And we really are an experience company. So when you look at how it, yeah, there you go, ready? Go for it.
All together.
Yeah, there you go. So experiences, there you go, are certainly what we're all about. Now, before we even talked about today's session and putting this together to share with you guys some of the secrets to our success over the last several years, which we wanted to be able to do with this session to make it valuable for everyone. Everyone's invested their time to be here, to really kind of share what has led to us having the best year we've had in 5 years. And we're having significant growth and major success, and we are a legacy business. So unlike Paul, who's talking about startups, is that we have various advantages being an incumbent. And many of you are in the exact same situation that I'm in, and so I wanted to share that with you. And one of those, of course, is data. Not large data. No, you can't do it. You can't clap on this one. It's just data. Just data. And the customer lifetime value, and what that means, platforms and partnerships, and then, of course, user experience. So these are the 3 things I just wanted to take 5 minutes this morning and share with you so you could speak to me over the next couple of days and hopefully benefit from the journey that we've been on. In terms of data, having 2 million customers a year across brands, the opportunity was right there for us when this was siloed data to be able to cross-market them. And so as Gil mentioned earlier, one of those things that we immediately started to do was actually send out messages to introduce the group, the family of brands. The message you see on the left was sent out to prospects, sent out to customers that were expressed interest in any one of the brands, and just welcomed them to the family of brands. And from that one email, we got $15 million of additional bookings. 80% of those went to our travel agency partners. An interesting realization of where the business still is today. And across the group, the whole idea of a 10-year wallet, so the future of our space, how do we just make sure that a customer continues to stay within that family of brands over a period of time? One year they'll take an African safari, next year they'll take a river cruise, then they'll do a European tour. And so this was the opportunity for us, as opposed to always assuming that they're going to take a Trafalgar trip every year or an Insight trip. So lifetime value and making sure that they stay with us over a period of time. The next big development for us was around platforms and partnerships. And certainly what Paul is doing is very impressive, and it's great to share the stage with him and Bill and look at what's happening in our space. But here's something that I think all of you should be aware of, is that when it comes to multi-day tours, that whole concept is actually the next big thing in online travel. And we're seeing it firsthand because of the number of partners that we're now working with that are requesting enhancements to our API. So we have this version 4 of the API because our customers have demanded it. And we've had to adapt to become more agile and much more collaborative and to be able to serve up their needs. So if they need information on dietary requirements, we need to make sure that we're providing the information to convert as many people within a 24 to 48 hour period. And that's exactly what's happening. So I specifically highlighted one of our partners here, Tour Radar, because we very much are about empowering our partners. And they are a terrific example of a business that is doing a huge volume of online sales. And most of our other partners are now starting to get into this space as well. And I encourage you, we talk about 10 years, when you look ahead next year in the next 12 to 18 months, you're going to see this. You're going to see more people booking higher ticket items, specifically multi-day tours, online. And so that's a big shift in terms of what we can see in the immediate future. And then the very last thing I wanted to mention was user experience. Now, for us, operational excellence is paramount. So people love traveling with our brands, and the whole idea is that we deliver that experience. And we very much are a travel company, not a technology company, and we're not confused about that. So we own that that's the experience that we need to make sure that we optimize, is the actual guest experience. So that is the true user experience. But the demands on the front end are changing in terms of what the expectations are. So my wife and I are going for her 40th birthday. She's got 3 more countries to get to before 40 for 40. And so she wanted to go. South America's perfect choice, so off we go to Chile, Argentina, and Brazil. And this is the trip that we booked with Trafalgar. And as you can see on the screen here, we can meet the travel director before we go. This was all launched in the last couple of months. So we can meet the travel director, we can meet other people that are going to be on our trip. The other thing in terms of removing friction is that you need visas to travel to those countries. Guess what? You can scan your passport and instantly get your visa processed for you. That's the sort of opportunity that we can now provide. And so the key for us is there's no longer a finish line, right? It's always just making sure that as soon as a customer introduces some new technology, that we are able to then be able to meet that need. And then the last thing I wanted to leave you guys with is that in terms of where we see the future in travel, I think most people in this room are fans of Elon Musk, and in terms of where the potential is going to be, I really think that transportation is going to see the most significant change in the next 10 years. And when you see, and I hope you guys have looked at the BFR rocket, the way that could get you around the world in like most destinations in 30 minutes, they show you the rocket taking off, but they don't actually show you the people like on the rocket for that like 40 minutes when they have to get to Tokyo. So I'm not sure exactly how that user experience works, but whether it is Hyperloop, transportation, driverless cars, that is going to change significantly. But the one thing that will remain constant is that people will still be seeking experiences. One time? Yes. Which I think, after all, is probably the reason that we're all here together in Vegas. So thank you very much. Hope that was beneficial.
Very good. Thank you.